Hi, my name is Nikki, and in this video I'm going to be leading you through the Exercise Bands for Strength portion of Weight to Wellbeing. If you'd like to follow along, we'll be using Winnipeg in Motion, Resistance Bands for Strength handout. A few classes ago, we did some strength exercises using just our body weight. Today, we're going to be using resistance bands. Okay, so our resistance bands look like this, and you should all have one so that you can follow along. Please make sure to go at your own pace. Do what you can. If any of these exercises hurt, then you can sit those ones out and join us again when you're ready. I'll try to give you some modifications to make it easier or harder. First, we're going to start by warming up our bodies. So anytime we're about to jump into some more intense exercise, we want to make sure that we're going to warm up our bodies, and that's just going to decrease our chance of injuring ourselves. Okay, so really important to do that. We're just going to start with some gentle activities, and we're just going to do each of them for 30 seconds to get our bodies ready for the upcoming activity. All right, so we're just going to start with a march. And you can go as slow or as fast as you want to with this march. It does not need to be fast because we're just gently and slowly warming up our heart and our lungs, getting everything ready for the activity that's going to come. All right, keep marching. Make sure you're breathing. It's really easy to hold your breath when we're doing some of these exercises. Sometimes I need to remind myself too, so it's totally normal. I'll give you lots of reminders to make sure that you're breathing. Okay, we're gonna change things up. We're gonna keep the march, but we're just gonna swing our arms gently side to side. All right, so depending on your shoulders, you might have a shoulder injury or some pain. You don't need to go really high. It can just be nice and low. Doesn't need to be up as high as shoulder height, okay? So really make these exercises work for you and how you're feeling today. Awesome. We're gonna keep the march and we're gonna add on a backwards shoulder roll. Okay, so again, some of us might have better range of motion than others, and that's okay. Just do what you can. We just wanna get, like we said, that body warmed up. All right, we're gonna take that shoulder roll and just do it forward. We're still moving our feet if you can. I know sometimes it's hard coordination-wise to get everything moving at the same time. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna take the march out. We're gonna do some hamstring curls. So all we're gonna do is flex our foot and pull our heel right up to our bum. All right, so this is just a good way to warm up those big muscles in the legs. All right, side to side. This one can be a tricky one sometimes coordination-wise, but just do what you can. Awesome job, guys. You should feel that heart rate getting up just a little bit. Maybe you're starting to breathe a little bit faster. Okay, we're just gonna change to a knee up in front instead of that hamstring curl. Okay, if you want, you can see I've just got a little bit of an arm movement here. You don't have to do that. You can keep your arms wherever feels good. But if you want to challenge that brain a little bit, feel free to add those arms in. Awesome. Don't forget to breathe. Okay, we're gonna stop that one. We're gonna take one foot, we're just gonna tap to the front, to the side, and to the back. So front, side, back. Front, side, back. Front, side, back. So this one's gonna challenge our balance a little bit as well. If you need to on this one, it's okay to have, whoops, I forgot the side. It's okay to have a chair close to you in case you need to hold on to that chair for some balance. Keep going. Okay, same thing, but on the other side. So front, side, back. Front, side, back. Just making sure those legs are nice and warm. All right. Awesome job, guys. Keep going. Again, don't be afraid to have that chair close by if you need it for some balance. So that was our warm-up. So before we use an exercise band, we just want to inspect it really quickly for safety. Okay, so we just want to look through the whole thing, make sure there's not any small holes or tears in it, because if there is, as we're going through, there's a chance that it could rip and it could end up, the snapback is what we call it, just hitting us somewhere and it could hurt a lot. So just make sure that you've got a good resistance band, it's in good shape, and there's not going to be a chance of it tearing on you. Okay, so we've got a few different exercises that we're going to go through. We're going to start with a bicep curl. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our band and we're going to put it down underneath one foot. All right, so you can play around. The nice thing about resistance bands is that we can play around with the resistance. So if I hold on closer to the end, it's going to be a little bit easier than if I hold down tighter and then I just have to work on that much more resistance. Okay, but for today, we're just going to start at the ends of our band. So I've got that band underneath one foot. The other foot's just kind of there for balance. Most of my weight is over top of this foot. I'm going to lock my elbows right into my sides. Okay, so I'm going to take them, put them there. They are not going to move. All right, I've got that band just comfortably in my grip. You want to hang on, not super, super tight, but tight enough that it's not going to slip out of your hands. All right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take that band and I'm going to move my hands right up to my shoulders. All right, and slowly back down. With any of these exercises, we really want to make sure that we're taking about 2 to 3 seconds to lift and 2 to 3 seconds to lower. We don't want to go really, really fast through these. Okay, and each of these exercises we're going to do for about 30 seconds. Make sure you're breathing through here. Make sure those elbows are really glued into those sides and they are not moving, okay? We don't want to be using momentum to be throwing those arms up there. All right, that was our bicep curl. The next one we're going to do is a lateral raise. So a lateral raise, really, really good for our shoulder muscles. We're going to put that band underneath one of our feet. And then this one you might need to play around with where you hold on to that band. Okay, we're going to work one arm at a time. So I'm going to grab onto that band in my hand here. I'm just going to hold on closer to the end for right now until I do one, and then I kind of figure out where I need to hang on. So my hand is going to start right down beside my leg, and then I'm going to gently pull it up to shoulder height. I don't want to go any higher than shoulder height, and then back down. All right, so up and down. Bring it up. You'll really feel that this shoulder has to work to bring that band all the way up. And if you needed to add more resistance as well, you could hang on lower onto your band. But we're just going to keep going for a few more seconds on this side. Awesome job, guys. 2 to 3 seconds to lift, 2 to 3 to lower. And that's just going to make sure we're getting the biggest bang for our buck. Okay, we need to switch to the other side. So we're going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to step that band underneath our other foot. All right, exact same thing. We're going to hang on to that band tight, but not too tight in our hand. It's going to start right down by the leg, and then we're just going to extend that arm up to the side, no higher than shoulder height, and bring it back down. All right, let's do that for a few more. Make sure you're breathing through these exercises. If you need to hang on lower, if that's feeling too tricky, you can also play around with how much is under your feet, and then I have even less resistance here. That is okay to do. Especially when we're starting out. If you haven't used resistance bands before, it's best to take baby steps. All right, let's just do one more. Good job. Okay, that was our lateral raise. Next, we're going to do a reverse fly. All right, so we're going to start with that band in both of my hands right out in front of me. This is another one where you can play around. If I hang on further apart, it's going to be a little bit easier versus if I hold on tighter. So I'm going to do it about the middle. All right, so my hands are just at shoulder height. I don't want them any higher than that. And I'm just going to take my hands and pull them out to the sides. All right, so this exercise is really good for those upper back muscles. And it's just using that band gives you that little bit of added resistance. Body weight exercises are really, really good for us, but if you just need to change it up, we don't want to get bored if we kind of do the same exercises over and over again, or if you just need that little bit of added resistance. These are really, really good ways to do that without having to buy a bunch of weights. All right, okay, so that was our reverse fly. Next up, we're going to do a squat. So I'm going to turn to the side, and I'll just show you here. I'm going to stand on my band just like that, okay? But I'm going to turn to the side. So we're just going to do a regular squat, but having this band here just adds a little bit more resistance. So my weight is in my heels. My feet are about hip width apart. I've got my band here. All I'm going to do is slowly lower my bum down behind me, watching my knees and making sure that they're not going over my toes in the front here. So that, I don't want to do that. I want to stay away from that. It's just really hard on my knees. All right, so I've got that resistance here and up. All of us are going to be able to do different ranges of motion here. Some of us maybe can only bend down a little bit, and that's okay. Others can maybe go a little bit further. All right, let's do a couple more. Make sure you're breathing. Awesome. One more time. All right, that was our squat. So next up, we are going to do a chest press. Okay, so I'm going to turn around to show you what I'm doing here, just as I set up. I'm going to get that band so that it's just around my upper back and underneath my arms. And then I'm going to hold on here. So I've just kind of got the band tucked in between my thumb and my finger. And my arms are at shoulder height. My elbows are 90 degrees to start. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to push forward and together at chest height and then back. Forward and together at chest height and back. And my stomach is engaged. I still want to think about those muscles, just keeping a nice strong core so that my back is protected. And you want to remember to breathe. Good job, guys. Nice and slow and controlled. Awesome. Okay, we're going to change it up. Next up, we've got tricep extension. So this is going to work those tricep muscles or the back of our upper arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold the band in one hand. Okay, so I've got it in my left hand here, and that's just kind of going to stick right up in front of my right shoulder. Okay, my other hand is going to grip the band. I'm going to start with it here, but you can play around with your tension. And then I'm going to take that elbow and I'm going to glue it right into my side again. So my left hand's going to stay glued here, my elbow's glued here, and then all I'm doing, I'm at 90 degrees to start. I'm going to take that down, I'm going to extend, and then back. Okay, when I extend, I want to completely think about really squeezing the back of that upper arm. Okay, so right here I'm going to squeeze, 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 hold for a second, and then come back. Squeeze, 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 and back. Squeeze, and back. Awesome, let's do one more. Okay, and then we have to do the other side. So we're going to take that band. I'm going to, lock it right here. Okay, so it's in my right hand now. It's locked onto kind of my right shoulder chest area. I've got that band down in between my left thumb and finger. I'm going to lock that elbow into my side. Start at 90 degrees. And then here we go. Just extend that arm, squeeze the back of that upper arm for a few seconds, and back. Squeeze, and back. Good job, guys. Squeeze the back of that upper arm. Great job. All right, we've got one more exercise. we're gonna need a sturdy chair for this one. So I'm going to get my chair here, and I'm going to show you the side view. So we're gonna do the seated row. This one is really, really great for our upper back muscles, okay, the ones in between our shoulder blades. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna place one side of that band right underneath our feet. All right, you can do this with both hands at the same time or one, so I'll show you both. First, we're gonna do it with one. Okay, so I've got that band nice and safely underneath my feet. I've got the band in my left hand. I'm gonna sit up nice and tall, engage those abs, and then I'm just gonna ever so slightly hinge forward, right from my hips with my back nice and flat. All right, I'm gonna let this arm hang straight down there, and then I'm just gonna row it up to the back till my hand's about at my hip there. Okay, my elbow I want pointing straight back, and then I'm gonna release. So row it up to the hip, hold for a few seconds, and then go back. So really, really good for those upper back muscles. All right, let's try a few more. Again, you can see my back is nice and flat. I don't want anybody to be rounded like that. We want to be nice and flat. Good job. Okay, we need to do the other side. I'm just gonna flip my chair. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm gonna put my feet on top of the band there. I can play around with how much resistance I have on here based on where I hang on. Okay, but I'm gonna sit up nice and tall. Think about these ab muscles. My legs are at 90 degrees. And I'm gonna take that slight tilt forward and then row that hand right up to my hip with my elbow pointing straight back. Some common things that can happen with this one sometime is our elbows start to wing out, but we want to keep them pointing as straight back as we can. Make sure you're breathing through these. Awesome. I'll just show you really quickly how we can do that same exercise with both hands. We would just put that band underneath both feet. Now we've got both hands hanging on. We're gonna have that forward tilt, and then we just row them both up at the same time. So we won't do that one for a whole set, but we'll just show you guys that that's an option as well. All right, I'll do one more to show you. Okay. That concludes our resistance bands for strength exercises. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now we need to cool down. Cool down is really, really important after we put our muscles through work like that. It just helps us to decrease our chance of injury as well as blood pooling in the legs. Okay, so we're gonna run through a few different exercises for our cool down. So we're gonna start. We're just gonna lace those fingers, and we're gonna push them out in front. I'll show you from the side, and we're gonna open up through those shoulder blades and just really let them pull away from each other. All right. We want our arms to be at about shoulder height, but if you've got some shoulder pain today, it's okay to have them a little bit lower. Think about that breath. We've just put our muscles through some work, so we wanna just try to purposely think about that breath and slow it down. Awesome job, guys. Okay, now we're just gonna do the same thing but for our chest. So we're gonna lace those fingers behind our back, push it out and open up through those chest muscles. So sitting up nice and tall, head and neck are neutral, which just means looking straight ahead. Good job, guys. Still breathing. All right, that's it for that one. We're gonna stretch out the front of these thighs because we worked them pretty hard with squats and lunges. So If you need a sturdy surface like a chair or a wall just to hang on to for balance, that's okay. We are going to take one foot. I'm gonna grab onto my foot here and try and pull my heel up to my bum. So sometimes this is hard for people depending on injuries or flexibility. So if you need to, you can also grab hold of that pant leg and basically do the same thing. Okay, so we just wanna make sure that we're keeping our knees at the same level. You don't want one forward or back. And then if you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can just push those hips forward and you should feel more of a stretch down the front of that leg. Awesome. Okay, let's do the same thing on the other side. So just pulling that other foot up, heel to the bum, keeping those knees in line, and then pushing the hips further if you need more of a stretch. Nice, easy breathing. Feels good after working those muscles. Perfect. Okay, we've got one more. So we're gonna take those feet a little wider than hip width apart. We're gonna come into a nice little knee bend, inhale all the way up, and then exhale down. Let's do that one more time. So bend, inhale, and exhale down.